Arithmetic and Geometric Sequences, Part 3. For the following arithmetic sequence, find the sum of the terms from A13 to A19 inclusive. Now this problem is a little different from the last problem because instead of finding the sum from the first term to another term, we're finding the sum between the 13th term and the 19th term. So we're finding the sum of a subset of the sequence. In order to find the sum, we're going to first find A13 and then we'll find A19. So to find A13, we need to apply this formula. Now, A1 is the first term in the sequence, which is a 5. N is the position of the term we're trying to find, which is 13. And D is the common difference. Since this is an arithmetic sequence, I find the common difference by taking the second term, which is 9, and subtracting the first term, which is 5. And 9 minus 5 is 4, so D is 4. Now we'll just plug these values into the formula, and I get A13 equals 5 plus 13 minus 1 times 4. We'll do 13 minus 1 first, which is 12. Next, multiply 12 times 4 together, and that gives us 48. And then finally, we'll add 5 to 48, and we get 53. So the 13th term of the sequence is 53. Now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to find A19, or the 19th term in the sequence. So for this term, we still have A1 equaling 5, but now N equals 19, and D still equals 4. We'll plug these values in and solve for A19. So we have 5 plus 19 minus 1 times 4. 19 minus 1 is 18. And then 18 times 4 is 72. And 5 plus 72 is 77. So the 19th term of the sequence is 77. Now we want to find the sum between the terms A13 and A19. To do that, I'm going to use the formula for the sum of an arithmetic sequence, but I'm changing it just a little bit so I can find the sum of a subset. I'm not finding the sum from the first term to some other term. I'm finding the sum of between two middle terms. So I'm finding it from the 13th term to the 19th term, and I need to identify N, A13, and A19. So N for this scenario is going to be the numbers between and to include the 13th through 19th term. So in order to see this, if we were to write this out, I would have the 13th term, the 14th term, 15th term, 16th term, 17th term, 18th term, and 19th term. So I want to find the sum of all of these terms. So N are the number of terms that I'm adding together, essentially. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms. So N in this case is 7. You can also find N mathematically by just taking the 19 subtracting the 13 and adding 1 to it. So if you have a problem like this on your homework, just take the largest number, subtract it from the smaller number, and then add 1, and you'll get what n equals. All right, so n equals 7, and then we already found that A13, or the 13th term in the sequence, is 53, and then A19 is 77. We'll just plug those numbers into the formula. I have 7 times 53 plus 77, all divided by 2. First, we'll add the numbers in parentheses. 53 plus 77 is 130. Next, we'll multiply 7 by 130, and we get 910. Finally, we'll divide by 2, and 910 divided by 2 is 455. Our final answer is 455. This means that the sum of all terms between the 13th term and the 19th term is 455.